Hi, it's Corrine. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today I'm making 3 different cards and I pulled out this scrapbook.com Mary paper collection and I'm pulling a couple pattern papers. These were meant to be Christmas cards and I think 2 of them out of the 3 could be used for other things besides Christmas, but I did originally start out making 3 Christmas cards. So I'm just going through seeing if there's matching solid colored cardstock. So I pulled out this bluish green. It's a really pretty color. And then I also pulled out my Concord 9th swatch book and another collection from scrapbook.com called Peppermint. And I was just trying to find coordinating colors to go with this pattern paper. So I end up using a couple pieces of this pattern cardstock from Concord 9th and then a couple pieces from, a couple pieces from scrapbook.com, that paper collection you see there, and then a couple pieces from Concord 9th. And then I ended up making a third card using all Concord 9th papers. So I'll set that all aside. I'm going to cut out my base layer. I'm using a nested stitched rectangle. The pink one, and they're all 3 different sized cards. So the pink one measures about 4 by 4. And then this greenish one measures about 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I'm trying to show you the stitching detail. It's really pretty on there. I was going to make all 4 by 4 cards, but then I decided to make different sizes, which you'll see here in just a moment. So I pulled out rainforest and eucalyptus from Concord 9th, and then I believe I have sweet pea and the pink one I think is from that scrapbook.com paper. So here's a pretty pink posh gift card holder. You'll see I have that, I cut out a scallop one and I have just an old card that I put in there just to make sure it fit nice. I do end up cutting a different one out that fits a little bit better. It doesn't have that scalloped edge. And this is some 100-pound Hammermill cardstock. I wanted to back the front of my card just to give it stability. And I will be using Concord 9's all wrapped up die set. I cut out a bunch of different colors, the bows and things like that, because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted. Obviously I wanted to make presents, and right at the beginning I decided I wanted to make one of them a gift card holder because I have somebody in mind for that. So here's the rainforest and eucalyptus. I mentioned that I did back those pattern pieces on some heavyweight cardstock, and now I'm just going to use a fine tip bottle using my reverse tweezers to help hold everything in place. And being that I'm working on a self-healing mat, I like to pull out this small glass mat when I'm gluing stuff. That way if any glue seeps out the sides, I don't have to worry about cleaning my mat. It's easier to clean a glass mat. So I just put some paperweights on those, and now I'm just kind of laying it out, trying to figure out how I wanted to make my present shape. I wasn't liking that too much. I am doing a double bow, as you see there. And when I turned it on its side, because I wrap presents like that all the time, I really thought that was cute. So I want to add those to either side. I just cut out another rectangle. Another square from the same die set, so it's the exact same size as my card front. And then I just cut off the corner, and I'm going to use that corner just to guide me to make sure that I get it on there straight and the same distance from either corner. So I'll just cut off the excess. And decided to use the other pieces that I have cut out to add to it, like it would be a second bow wrapped around or ribbon wrapped around. And I do like to use my brayer just to kind of push everything down, make sure everything is adhered well. So for my gift card holder, I just have a piece of cardstock that I believe is about 2 inches. And I'm just placing it behind there, just leaving enough room for the bow to be able to slide all the way down onto the present. So to hold that in place, I'm putting a little bit of ATG tape and then kind of putting my hand on it so it's not super sticky. And then I glue that down, but I quickly realized 2 things: that I wanted to add some pop dots. So I just wiped off the glue. I'm adding some pop dots behind it so the bow can sit over the top of the front of my card. And I thought I would be able to hide that white cardstock behind the double bow, but a little bit of it peeked out. So we're going to fix that. And how we're going to fix it is by pulling the bow apart, which luckily everything was still pretty wet. I thought about taking my scissors to it, but I figured that would make a mess because I still wanted to look good from behind as well. So I quickly pulled those apart, used a circle punch that I had. I should have done that in the beginning. I didn't think that all through. And then I glued it back together, and you couldn't even tell. It turned out perfect. I am putting a piece of it's like wax paper under it just in case any of the glue seeped out. I didn't want my bow getting glued to the front of the card. So here's where I go with the other gift card holder from Pretty Pink Posh. I'm gluing it everywhere but the little tabs that hold the gift card in place. I glued that down, and I wasn't sure how long I wanted that piece to be, so that's why I left the white part still at that point. And now I'm using the coordinating stamp set, stamping out the word EA in Rainforest from Concord 9th. That matches that dark green. I pulled out a piece of 120-pound thick cardstock. Because this was going to be holding a gift card holder, I wanted my card base to be super sturdy. So I just kind of measured it out, scored it, or didn't measure it out rather. I just kind of looked where I needed to score it. I scored it, folded it in half, then I took it over to my cutter and cut it to the correct size. Same with that. I took that over to my cutter and cut it down, and it ended up working out perfect that it fit directly behind it. So to put this on my card base, I'm using some double-sided foam, and I'll use my scoreboard to get that right in the corner, easy to attach it. Just make sure your card's open the correct way. I made sure before I put it on, although this pattern really wouldn't matter as much, but what did matter is where the gift card goes. So now I'm on to my pink and white. It actually has a little red in it. And like I said, this started out to be a Christmas card, but I think this could go for a birthday card too. I love the color combination. So I'm using the 4x4 stitched edge nesting square for this. Added a little bit of the darker pink behind that white. I wanted the pop of white on there. And then I'm layering several of the dies. Only 3 of these are supposed to go together technically, but I added a 4th one just to make it look a little bit fuller. And I wanted to bring that white back into it. So this is cute on its own. I love Concord 9th, really does think everything through. This is cute on its own, but I did want to add a little more pink into it. So you'll see here in a moment that I add corner pieces to the present just to bring in that pink a little bit more. I also decided to add some tails. I'll show you here in just a moment. So I cut off one of the pieces, and now I'm using that as my guide to get the same sized pieces. Again, starting out with the same sized square piece, and this way they all match up perfectly. So once I glue those into place, like I said, the stamp set, or the die set rather, has coordinating ribbon dies pieces and also these cute little tags. I stamped and heat embossed Happy Day, and I do it twice. I do from the darker pink, which I believe that's dragon fruit, which I thought coordinated very well with this. So again, bringing in a pop of white, I'm going to add the little reinforcement holes with white, and then I'm also going to cut out a duplicate tag that will glue behind it, which I did glue the reinforcement to the back of the tag. In the end, you don't end up seeing that, but at the time I wasn't sure that's how I was going to do it. So these little pieces here, these actually go with another bow die that I'll be using on another card, but I thought they look cute like tails coming down. So even though they're meant for a different type of bow, I added them to this. I thought it turned out really cute. So I'm just using some twine, tying that through my little gift tag, and then I'll glue that underneath so it hangs free. So underneath the little bow, I'm adding a little bit of double-sided tape. I will add some to the little bow ends as well, just to keep it, the dimension of it up. And then I'll glue this bow to the very top and add one of the die cuts that comes in it with a dimensional dot as well, a little heart, using that same pink dragon fruit that matches the tag. So I did the same thing. I used a 120-pound thick cardstock, and I'm just going to put this in my scoreboard. I'm putting it opposite because of that bow. I just wanted something to press so it all met in that corner to be able to help me glue it down. And then I added a piece of pattern paper on the inside. When I write in it, I can write with black pen, or I could add a small white piece of cardstock before adding my sentiment. For this one, I added a red round tag, stamped it with For You, and heat embossed it as well. And I do go back and just add a little glue to that twine so it stays up there, but I don't glue down the tag. I like when the tags move for the recipient. Adding a little bit of white pen detail. And for this next card, I'm using a Hero Arts Nesting Circles die and the same stitched square dies. This one measures out to about a little over, it's 3 3/8, so a little over 3.5 inches square. I'm using Creamsicle and Clementine by Concord 9th. I cut out several of these circles from just white cardstock, and as I showed in the beginning, I did 2 different sizes, so I'm just kind of placing them out to see kind of where I want them, and then I use my reverse tweezers to go ahead and glue them down. I like adding half circles too, so it looks like it's a continuous pattern that I cut from pattern paper. So I'll just cut off the edges, add my centerpiece, my bow or my ribbon, and then I'll add a few of the polka dots against the ribbon so it looks like it goes under the ribbon. Now this one was meant to be a birthday card. I was just having fun making these. I really enjoyed working with this die set. So I just wanted to make another one, and I love these colors. Here's that bow that I was talking about. It's 2 different pieces. So here's the piece that I used as the bottom ribbon on my pink card, but it's meant to be 2 different colors. So you could have that dimensional look. So I used the lighter color of Creamsicle and then the darker color of Clementine. I'm using my pickup stick to add those little polka dots. Adhere that down to a white card base. And then here's the tails. Again, you can mix and match. I decided to go with these tails for this bow. I thought it turned out cute. So definitely wanted to add a tag, and blue looks so cute with orange. So I'm using, I think it's Tide Pool, again by Concord 9th. Stamping in the For You. I stamped it a couple times since it's the first time using that. And then I added a a die cut heart to go to the center, so that'll match the tag that's on the front, which I did double up because it just felt a little thin. I stamped a little bit of love, added white reinforcements, and then I added a cute little white heart to finish it off. I did add a little glue to the back. I like that twine showing. I could have hid it under there, but I left it out, but I, again, did glue it down so it doesn't move too much. So those are my 3 little cards, one being a gift card holder. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you have any questions on any of the products or anything I've used in the video, please let me know. Leave it down in the comment section, and I hope you consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.